Mad, mad, mad. I'ma feed 5-4 fun, money making animal. Don't put me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ask Mad Show. I am Mad, your Duke of Tribal Kingdom, international man of leisure, the Caesar of the universal players, your secret agent man giving you the game on all things. And what I want to talk about today is somewhat philosophical. Most of the topics that I bring up are philosophical, but this is really rooted in reality. You know what I mean? A little bit extra, but very much so grounded, And I want to talk about the theory which they call the Willie Lynch theory. And if you don't know about the Willie Lynch theory, it's based off a letter, quote unquote, this mythical letter that apparently was written by a fella by the name of Willie Lynch, where they make it seem as if the Willie Lynch theory is exclusively for Black American people during chattel slavery here in America. And it's basically a misnomer, if you ask me. Yeah. Because obviously the Willie Lynch theory don't just apply to Black Americans. The Willie Lynch theory applies to all people. And what the Willie Lynch theory basically depicts is the reality of human nature. And it's to stir division. It was used against the slaves to stir division amongst the slaves. So you pit the older slave against the younger slave. You pit the house slave against the field slave. You pit the light-skinned slave against the dark-skinned slave. You pit the male against the female, the older against the younger, so on and so forth. And if you ask me, I don't think that just applies to slavery in terms of people being in bondage. Now, it does apply to mental slavery. Yeah, they say that we exchange physical shackles for mental ones. Pay attention, keep up. And you also pit the intelligent ones against the dumb ones. Now, that one is something that most people don't talk about. They really focus on the old versus young. They really do focus on the fair skin, the dark skin, the house Negro, the field Negro, but they don't really give much attention to the intelligent versus the dumb or the less talented, because a lot of intelligence is rooted in talent. It's a talent to be intelligent. Did you know that? Did you know it's a talent to be able to think? And so those who don't have the ability to think, it's not that they're stupid. They just lack the talent. They lack the capacity, right? And as I said to you before, this is not unique to Black Americans. It plagues all of society. And you can just pick any country in this world and you will see this at work in the macrocosm. And if you pick any group in any small community in the world, you will see it in the microcosm. And the nature of most people is not different than my own. It's just that most people they're not honest enough with themselves. See, just like Carl Jung said with the shadow self and how people can project onto others, it's because they can't be honest with themselves. They can't be honest with themselves about what it is that they actually want. Like when somebody calls my phone, boy, don't call me. I'm just going to be honest with you. Don't call me. Don't contact me. Write me a letter. I think we should go back to letters, telegrams and such. And I ain't talking about the app, Jack. I'm talking about the British are coming. Like, did they send it? Back when you had to ride a horse across the street to hand somebody a piece of paper. I think we should go back to that because, man, I hate when people call my phone, man. Please don't ask me how I've been. Oh, I loathe how you been. That's the worst thing you could ever ask me. Tony Soprano said, remember when is the lowest form of conversation? How you been is the lowest form of any type of introduction to a conversation. It is the worst. Can we retire it, please? Can we put it on a jersey and hang it up in the rafters so nobody can ever use the phrase, hey, man, how you been? How you think I've been? Like, what is that supposed to mean? That's a way for them to ask you your business without them feeling like they being nosy. But that's what they are. They being nosy. I've never called somebody without an intention. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's my psychopathy. Yeah. Maybe it's my Machiavellianism coming in where I have intentions for everything. I'm very, very, very intentional, such as my nature. Yeah, it's my nature to be intentional with everything that I do. And so if somebody calls me, my nature tells me that they want something. Because if I call them, I don't necessarily want something, but I want something. I want an answer to a question, you dig? I want to take you out somewhere, you dig? I want to invite you somewhere. I want to give you some information. Or I'm going to ask something of you, but I'm not finna pretend like I just want to know how you been. Again, those are the people who won't tell you what they like. They won't tell you what they want. Those are the ones you should be worried about. Be leery of people who just want to know how you been. It sounds good. I know. Trust me. I know I sound ridiculous. Come on, man. They just checking on you. It can't be that bad. Are you that paranoid? Yeah, I am, quite frankly. And I might be schizophrenic. Who knows? But what I'm saying is, I know you want something. So you might as well just tell me what it is and negotiate, see if I can do it for you. And that's where my Machiavellianism come in at, because I'm intentional with mine. So because I know I want something, I know what I'm going to offer you in order to get it. Now, whether you deny me or how you do it, that's on you. That's your business. But you ain't going to get no sugarcoating. You ain't going to get no beating around the bush and no pussyfooting from me. I'm going to tell you what I want, and I'm going to offer you something in exchange for that, whether it's money or something else that is of value to you, not just for your time, but for the time. Yeah, for your time and for the fact that I'm calling you with a request. Yeah. And so when most people call me, I know they want something. You know what I mean? It's human nature. But if you don't want to reveal what that is, and you don't want to tell me why you calling me and what it is, I'm going to look at you suspiciously. That's just what it is. I don't care. I don't care. And Willie Lynch ain't got nothing to do with that. That's all human nature. You know what I mean? And going back to this Willie Lynch thing, let's just dissect that a little bit more, because it's not real. It's myth. It's a myth. Dick Gregory spoke about it. And what Dick Gregory said is that in the Willie Lynch letter, they was using 1960s lingo. He's implying that, they ain't even implying, he explicitly said at the time that this supposedly, allegedly took place, they ain't even talk like that back then. I don't know if they was using thee, thoueth, and thine and all of that at the time when it was wrote, but he said they didn't talk like that, Jack. It was too hip. It was like, hey, man, you jive turkey sucker. You want to get the slave to do what you want? Nah, I'm just playing. That's 70s lingo. But no, he said that basically that the letter itself was FBI or CIA, and that it was used to get the movement that was going on, to stifle it and make people, I guess, a big distraction. It's a psyop. Everything is a government psyop. We got so many of them. COVID is a government psyop. Iran. But what he's saying about this Willie Lynch thing is that it didn't necessarily come from those people. And what I'm saying is you didn't need Willie Lynch to write the letter for it to be at play. And if people know about the Willie Lynch theory and the Willie Lynch letter back then, why is it still working today? It's alive and well today. I'm not a slave, never been a slave. I've never experienced Jim Crow. Yeah, I've experienced racism, direct and indirect. But since the time period that we live in, you can deal with a racist. And we're going to speak about that a little bit more later. But prejudice, racism, things of that nature, the grouping of people, it's human nature to want to be around your own, to group yourself. It's human nature. And another thing that's human nature is for people to be jealous, for people to be envious. Yeah. And when you see pit the old against the young, that's all jealous and envy. A younger person, let's just dive into this. And I want to ask you, how many times have you seen a younger person? And I'm not talking about siblings, because that's a whole nother thing. But just in general, say you work at an office, yeah? Matter of fact, it can be Dunder Mifflin if you want it to be. You work at Dunder Mifflin. Ryan started the fire. And I think Ryan is the youngest dude in the office, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan is pretty young. And would you see, or would you say that Ryan is jealous of Michael? Is all the reason to be. Michael's the boss in that office. You know, Michael has a convertible, I guess. It's a nice car for, somebody of that caliber. And Michael has opportunities and access to things that Ryan don't. But would you say that Ryan is jealous of Michael for that reason? I wouldn't. I didn't see it. I wouldn't even have thought it, even if I just watched a couple of episodes. I don't have to know everything that happened in all 9 seasons. And in turn, I didn't see Michael jealous of Ryan. As a matter of fact, he was infatuated with Ryan. Thought Ryan was the future. And even though this is a television show and it's scripted, it, to me, is a representation of how things ought to be. Now, I think Michael Scott is a buffoon and an idiot. I don't really like Michael Scott. Michael Scott annoys me. Like, he's very, very, very annoying. But I can stomach him sometimes. Within that construct, that microcosm, and you can see human nature at play, people's allegiances, the things that people are attracted to, favoritism, yeah, people trying to kiss up in order to move up move up the ladder. Dwight kissing up to Michael, just basically doing anything. Wash his socks. He'll wash his feet with his tears if he asks him to, because he fancies himself and he wants to move up. Assistant regional manager to whatever. I guess he gave himself some false title that's not even real. And even to the way that Jim and Pam's romance kind of happened, it was all natural as it appeared. So much so that people are patterning their relationships off a fictional TV show. People say they want to be in love like Jim and Pam. Not Tony and Carmela, but Jim Halpert and Pam. What's Pam's name? I can't remember her name, but either way, it don't matter. But what I'm saying is you can look at things in a microcosm, and certain things that are a part of human nature you can see. And wasn't no real black people in that show. You had a couple of them, Stanley, but I mean, come on. Let's be real. And then you had, what's the brother, Craig Robinson's character, Daryl. But at the same time, come on. And so what I'm saying is even among those people, you saw certain aspects of Willie Lynch. And so what is Willie Lynch really? It's nothing. It's human nature. It's a piece of paper. It's a myth. It's a government psyop. It don't exist. But human nature is alive and well. And it plays a part in every single piece of it that we can think of. You're going to see human nature at play. And it's dominating the game right now. Human nature is undefeated. Can't nothing beat it. Can't nothing beat human nature. You can't beat human nature. I can't beat it. So instead of trying to beat human nature, I try to understand it. Yeah. I try to look at human nature and try to understand what is it exactly that I'm looking at? How does that work? How does this end up like that? If a person like myself who has nothing but good intentions for people, I do. Even with my dark triad personality type, I have good intentions for people. That's why I got to offer you something in exchange. Otherwise, I'm not even going to bother with you. Is that bad? That's a real question. Is that bad of me that I don't deal with people unless I have intentions for that person? See, society will have you believe that we supposed to just be out here free for all, free balling. No draws on with some jeans. We supposed to just be free balling. Everything is free, balls hanging loosely around. You dig what I'm saying? And man, look out. And if you have intentions, which means you put your drawers on, society supposed to look at you as if you're a problem. You're calculated. You thinking too much about it. You thinking too deep into it. But I don't agree with that. You dig? I think that everybody should have intentions for everything and for everybody that they come across. Like a person even asked me, they was like, hey, do you think a young kid should date without intentions? Like a young 18-year-old, they should just date for fun? And I was like, absolutely not. Everything you do should have intentions. You should date with an intention. So if your intention is to get married, you should date with that intention. If your intention is to just date around, play the field, date casually, hook up with people, whatever it is, be a player, you should have that intent. And you should tell people your intentions. You should be transparent about it. Say, hey, I want to get married. Hey, I'm a virgin. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm a player. Hey, I like The Little Mermaid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be intentional and transparent with your intentions to people. And so what I'm saying is the part of human nature that don't come into play with people is they don't want to be intentional about it. They want to just try to act like it's something that it just happened. And that's the problem that I have with people who don't want to be transparent about what their intentions are, or at least to reveal what their nature is. Because when things start to happen, everybody's confused. Don't nobody know nothing. Don't nobody know how we arrived at this destination. Hey, how did we get here, homie? How did we even get here? You know what I mean? And don't nobody know. I know how we got here. Human nature brought us here. It's always a conflict. Because like I said, competition brings division. And human nature competition is really ingrained in human beings. Competition, the need to compete. Otherwise, we'd all be cavemen rolling rocks on the ground. But there was a need of competition. There was something innate, the nature of people to want to do better than their predecessor. And that is a form of competition. Whether Carl Jung is competing with Sigmund Freud, or Plato is competing with Socrates. You dig what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant competing with Michael Jordan, and LeBron competing with both of them. There is a level of competition that brings about a greatness in people, but it also causes a division among us. And I don't have an issue with the division part. No, I don't. Now, I'm not one of these kumbaya people that wants everybody, we should all just come together. In order to do what? Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. explains that very clearly. People, especially black people, should not just be getting together with no intention, with no agenda, with nothing clear cut that says, hey, this is why we getting together and this is what we gonna do and this is how long we gonna be together. A lot of times people get together and they just spend all day together doing nothing. All day doing nothing. And if you got something to do, if you have an agenda, if you got a schedule that you keep, people gonna be mad at you for that. You don't spend enough time with us. Oh man, we barely get to see you. About time you came to one of these. And the whole time you just looking like, okay, I'm here, but nothing is happening. What did I come here for? What was you waiting on me for? Like, why was you waiting on me to come to this? In order to do what? Because now that I'm here and I can't wait to leave because nothing is happening. But you claim that I'm supposed to be coming to all of these? Like holidays. Oh, I'll be home for Christmas. I think they made songs about it. They got movies about it. National Lampoon. Chevy Chase is in all of them. Chevy Chase is in every movie and every holiday, and you got to come home for the holidays. And what I'm telling you is that time period is come and gone. Just like the Willie Lynch and the slavery time period, even the 60s, that's all gone. You don't really have a family to come home to for the holidays. What is your family? Show it to me. That's rhetorical. Where is your family? Did you create it? You only got a family if you make one. Yeah, and I don't need to tell y'all where babies come from. When a man and a woman love each other very, very much, it's like now you have a family. Because this is something that you've produced on your own. But what you was born into, those are just a bunch of people standing around. A bunch of people standing amongst each other who may or may not have some sort of resemblance. Yeah? Like, I might be able to stand next to some of my kinfolk. And you might be able to say, boy, y'all look just alike. I'm going to tell you lying. Like, I think certain family members have features and whatnot that look the same, but that's because they come from a real family. Like, Scary Movie just came out. The new Scary Movie just came out. I don't know if it's 6 or 7, but the new Scary Movie just came out. The Wayans brothers, they got it back. Congratulations. Let's clap for the Wayans family, everybody. Sean, Marlon, Keenan, Damon, Kim. Kim is in the movie. Look out now. And all they nephews, nieces, grandkids, and so on and so forth. The Wayans is like a clan. They like the Clappets. They deep. You know what I'm saying? And it's a reason why they all look together. You want to know? You want to know the reason? They mama and daddy decided to be together and only have kids with each other. I know it's a shocker, ain't it? Well, they old. That's why. Again, That's a time before this one. The time that we in now dictates that people do what make them feel good, not what works. It don't work to have a bunch of kids by different people because there's no connectivity. There's no synergy. There's no symmetry. There's barely a resemblance. Like, you look at the Wayans family and you're going to be like, yeah, they look alike. Even they kids and even they nieces and nephews look like them. You don't know who kid is who. You be like, wait a minute, that's Damon's son. No, that ain't Damon's son. Okay, that's Keenan's son. That ain't Keenan's son. It ain't Keenan's son. He look like Keenan. No, that's they sister Deirdre's son. They got a sister Deirdre? Man, he look like Keenan. You are confused who people daddies and kids is. Because I don't know how many kids Keenan Wayans got. I don't know if Keenan Ivory Wayans got kids at all. But that old boy in the movie looked like Keenan. But apparently it's his sister's son. Man, dig that. And so what happens in these situations? What is the nature of people who share blood but don't share resemblance, don't share lineage? And because of this competition, this competitiveness of this country, you have this division. And it doesn't just go to the people outside. It permeates every aspect of society. And it gets into your homes and it gets into your throat and it's in your body. And I believe that the old and the young, the dark and the light, the talented and the untalented is just human nature at play. Because at the end of the day, the reason why all of this division exists is because everybody wants to be a star. Yeah. Everybody want to be a star, and people hide behind labels as a way to distract from their attraction to stardom. You know what I'm saying? Like Beanie Siegel said, everybody wants to be a star. Everybody want to be your star. Don't matter who you are. Don't want to be who you are. You know what I'm saying? What else Bean said? What's your life like? Mine's is real. What you know about grown men moaning at night in jail and eating your silly feet stinking, and what you know about no commissary and going to the judge and da-da-da. Shout out to Beanie Siegel. Hey, shout out to Beanie Siegel, dog. Beans had you with the chokehold. On the microphone, you listening to Beans, it's like he got you in the head, like, what you know about not eating at night in jail? It's like nothing. What am I supposed to know about men grown? You hearing grown men moan at night? Like, yo, be down. But I think it's because everybody wants to be a star, man. Nobody want to be who they are. They all want to be a star, and not everybody is talented enough to be a star. Not everybody is qualified. Not everybody is good looking enough to be a star. And people that try to hide it, they'll try to disguise them wanting to be a star. They'll hide behind labels like podcaster, journalist, producer, manager. You know what I'm saying? Mothers want to be stars. Fathers want to be stars. Siblings want to be stars. The list goes on and on. And if you got star quality and you surrounded by people who want to be stars, you're going to be the object of their jealousy and their envy. And it's not necessarily you, but it is. But in reality, it's their shadow self. They're projecting onto you what they hate about themselves, their inability to position themselves for the limelight, the inability to showcase themselves confidently. Oh, man, do I see it, man. Like, if you lack confidence, man, stay away from me, homie. I can't, I'm sorry. There's a place for you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Just not with me. There's no place for people who lack confidence around somebody like me. It's all involuntary. It ain't because I didn't make the world. You know what I'm saying? Like Logan Roy said, I didn't make the world. Sugar Free said, I didn't write the book, I just read it. Now that's game. You dig what I'm saying? And so if you don't have confidence, you shouldn't be around somebody like me, because I exude confidence, man. You know what I mean? It comes up out of me before I know it. And I done hypnotize somebody because of my confidence. Not just in the way I speak, the way I walk, the way I dress. Every little thing. Even my eyeballs are confident. My eyebrows are confident. My mustache. It's all confidence. And if you somebody you shrink or you timid, you gonna have a problem with me because I take up space. You know what I'm saying? Spread my wings and flex my muscles, poke my chest out. What Nip say? Black Sam told me poke your chest out. You know what I'm saying? That's all confidence. And to people who lack it, they don't like it. What they don't understand is you have to have confidence in order to be a star. So you wanting to be a star, that's not who you are. You in the wrong lane and you trying to tell people who belong in that lane how to act in that lane. Ain't that a pip? Man, look out. You ain't from this and you want to tell people who born of it how they supposed to behave. And it's really misleading. You sending people off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a send off. So you can't send me off of the mission that God gave me innately. I was born like this. They say you can't make a player. He has to be born. You can't make a pimp. He has to be born. I'm telling you, I was made like this. I was born this way. And people who have a problem with me usually have a problem with my level of confidence because I know who I am. And they don't know theyself. They don't know themselves. Another thing that you can't have star quality if you don't know yourself. Because what is it? Like, how are you a star? Show us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what qualifies you to be a star? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you good at something and you're confident about it, people don't want you to win because you winning diminishes their chances. Like, it puts them in last place just to see you in first. Because what Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you last. And so the fact that you in first, they feel like they in last. But ain't nobody thought about being in second except Shake and Bake. You know what I'm saying? Cal Norton Jr., y'all. He ain't had no problem being second until old girl and them got in his ear about his homeboy. And so because they got in his ear about his homeboy, now he want to be first. But that ain't his lane. It never was. He didn't even know who he was after that. You know what I'm saying? He kept coming up with different names. You know what I'm saying? First his name was Magic Man or something like that. He was like stepping out of the glass. Like, what's magic about that? That's a mime. And then he called his name El Diablo or something crazy because he's having an identity crisis because he's trying to be a star and that's not who he is. That's not his position. So it's like, what are the qualifications to be a star? What qualifies a person to be a star? Do anybody know? Like, is there a certain talent you have to exhibit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the abilities that you should possess? Are you supposed to be the common man? You see that today where people want to uplift somebody that looks, acts, and has everything. Like, you will see a very common person, whether they be a slouch, like they slouchy shoulders, they're not in good posture. They can be overweight, pudgy, fat in the face. You know what I'm saying? Or ugly, very ugly. Oh my goodness. They try to make stars out of ugly people. Very at the lowest level I'm talking about. Everything I'm talking about ain't actual stars. That's why this is all projection. That's why this is all shadow self and them being envious and jealous of people who actually possess it, this human nature effect, because they want to be stars. And so what they'll do sometimes is try to uplift somebody who has their same commonality, and they want to boost that person's profile because that person reminds them of them. And maybe that person is confidently untalented while you're not confident in your lack of talent. And so you want to boost them because you know that they don't actually have talent, and it makes you feel better about the fact that you don't have talent. Whether that talent is actual intelligence, or whether that talent is, music, sports related, athleticism, whatever it is, science. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that talent is, you don't want that person to be the face of it because theirs is real. You'd much rather dibble and dabble with somebody who is make believe, who has this pseudo stardom. that is 100% contrived. And now that's what you have in mass. I think you had sprinkles of that, like E40 said, sprinkle me mine, sprinkle me mine. I think you had sprinkles of that at one point or another. You know what I mean? Where you had these contrived individuals that it was obvious. But then you had these stars, these real stars. You had James Brown, you know, Michael Jackson, you know, I mean, a 5-year-old kid just singing. He wasn't singing, he was singing, you know what I mean? You had people who had real star quality, Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Lord of mercy, Ali, you ain't seen nothing like it since. You know, Floyd has star quality, but it ain't the Ali star quality, man. And I don't know if Floyd is a victim of the time period that we in, but it's something to be said about it. It's something to be said about it. And a lot of the, you know, as far as like the manufacturing of stars and the contrivedness of it all has to do with nepotism. And people mistake nepotism to be just like a father and son, mother and daughter. No, nepotism is any kind of relation. So it's nepotism if you have a nephew, or if you have a niece, or if you have a grandchild. It's nepotism if you have a friend or an associate that you put in a position that they didn't earn. You dig what I'm saying? That's a form of nepotism, and you can't go nowhere without seeing it. It is so bad today. It is pervasive, man. It's pervasive and it's vast. It's everywhere, this nepotism. And, you know, I'm not somebody who really benefited from nepotism. You know what I'm saying? In my hood, where I'm from, my daddy was that dude. You know what I'm saying? He was a man of, he was a nobleman. You know what I'm saying? A man of valor. Give me all these, give me some type of cool military thing to say. But like, no, in real talk, my pops, you know, my daddy was somebody that was well respected. And because he was a king and he was well respected, me being his son, I received some of that, about as much as I could receive at my age at the time. You know what I mean? And just like Wayne said, you know, I'm his kid, I stunt with my daddy, call Miss Mary, she with my daddy. So this me and don't diss my daddy, cause who was there when no one wasn't? Just my daddy. Who was there when I needed money? Just my daddy. So who be there when I see the money? Just my daddy. Man, look out. And who said that I be the one, just my daddy? No, let me stop. And that didn't necessarily work for me because I didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? And Pops passed away very early. He died when he was 40 years old. Now, at my age, 40 is very young, man. It's very young. At the time, I was 21, and I looked at it like, man, Pops, you getting old. You know what I'm saying? I remember one night, my Pops used to work the late shift. He worked the graveyard shift. And, you know, one night he come home. Now, I'm living with my Pops in this co-way building, and I got my own room. Now, this is the first time I ever had my own room. You know, I come up humble beginnings. And so, I mean, one night Pops come home. Now, my Pops was bald-headed. You dig what I'm saying? He had a bald head. But he hadn't had a haircut in a little while, you know. And, man, y'all dudes from the 80s, man, because he had a curl in the 80s, man. He got a curl and shit, dripping and whatnot. My uncle and them had a curl, man. They was... it was Beat Street with a curl. And that stuff burnt all of their man, they burnt all of their hair follicles to a crisp because they was spraying chemicals in their head because they didn't like their natural hair, man. And so for a minute it was cool. It was at a party, and then when the 90s rolled around, it was gone. And Tupac came out, Onyx and Michael Jordan, everybody was bald head, so Montel Williams. So everybody, cut their hair bald. So my pop's been bald ever since I could see. You know what I mean? Because he burnt it up. And so he come home one night and it had started growing back. It had started growing back, and he had like this Danny Glover type stubble going on, man. I don't know. It looked like he was for the audition for Lethal Weapons 5. And I remember I told him, I'm like, man, Pop, you like Danny Glover. And he just started rolling. Now, obviously, Danny Glover, respect to Danny Glover, man. I ain't trying to diss Danny Glover. It's just funny because at the time, and he wasn't even 40 yet. He was like 38, 30, yeah, like 37, 38. Yeah, I'm about to say 38, about 38, 39. And I told him he looked like Danny Glover, like as if he was an old man. But he wasn't. He wasn't. He just had the responsibilities of one. And I don't know what it is about that generation versus our generation, because you would think that it's similar, but it's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like my girl, right? We was looking at this Mike Tyson joint, this little video clip. Mike Tyson was 19 years old, youngest champion ever. And she was like, that is not a 19-year-old. I'm like, nah, he was 19. She like, he look older than us now. I'm like, I don't know what was in the water back then, but kids look like grown peoples in the 80s and 90s back then. They looked grown. And if you was 30, you looked like you was 50. Like they had, man, Sherman Hemsley, the dude that played George Jefferson, he was like 40-something years old. Like they just looked like that back then. Now, a dude could be 30 and he look like he's 17. Act like it too. And so what I'm saying is, I don't know what happened and the fountain of youth then caught back up to the people, but man, everybody don't look the way they did before, and they don't act the way they did before, and it's a lot of just childishness. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's very childish. You know what I mean? Like Jay-Z was just at the Roots picnic and did his freestyle, and Jay-Z is like almost 60 years old, and he don't look 60 though. But people is trying to come at him on some ageism type stuff, saying he too old to be talking like this and he too old to be rapping like that and blah, blah, blah. But there was some human nature at play with that Jay-Z freestyle. Not even just the freestyle, but with the whole performance, because he brought Beanie Siegel out. He brought Freeway out. He brought, the Young Guns out, you know what I'm saying, during his performance. And it was like a Rockefeller State Property reunion. I think Petey Crack was out there, you know what I mean? And that's big because all of them dissed Jay at one point. All of them. It was human nature, whether it was jealousy, envy, entitlement, people feeling like you're supposed to take care of them, they whole life just because they want you to. People who feel like you're supposed to agree with them just because they want you to. And I think Beans was the biggest offender in this, honestly, if I'm giving my real opinion, because Freeway didn't really do or say too much of nothing. I think he got the most favor with Jay, honestly, in my opinion. But Beans was the closest to him at the time. That was his gunner. That was his enforcer. You know what I'm saying? Dame was his right hand. He did Dame, but that's a whole other thing. And Beans went on plenty of interviews and just been talking about it nonstop about what was going on at that time. He even told Memphis Bleak when Beans went to jail and he was finna, face this sentence. And the judge asked Jay-Z, would you be responsible for him while he's out? And Jay said no. And Beans felt like he was supposed to say, yeah, because that's his man's. It's like, when you meet him? Like 97, 98? You know what I'm saying? When did you go to jail? Like 03, 04? You ain't known him that long. Why should he be responsible for you and you a grown man? You know what I'm saying? Like, you a grown man, homie. Like, should nobody be responsible for you because you doing what you want to do? And he decided that he didn't want to do that. And I don't blame him. And that's the human nature aspect of it, man. And if you want to be a star and you want to be around people who got talent, you got to have a level of discipline. Even if you yourself got talent, Beans is very talented. The Broad Street Bully, I told you. What you know about jail? Like, he rap with conviction on that microphone. You believe everything he's saying, but at the same time, he's unresponsible for himself. Ain't nobody telling you to be responsible for a whole bunch of people that ain't got nothing to do with you. You can't be responsible or accountable for yourself. That's why I have an issue with people. That's why I stop. If a person can't take responsibility for themselves or be accountable for their actions, stay away from me, because you're not entitled to nothing I got going on. You're not entitled for me to look after you. What is wrong with people? Like, I don't know why Beanie Siegel felt like Jay was supposed to do that for as long as Beans decided, as if you his boss. Like, I think a lot of y'all need to check yourself, homie. Don't nobody owe you nothing. And whatever it is, send me the invoice. I tell people in a minute, hey, if I owe you something, send me the bill so I can pay it, so you can get away from me. If it ain't a bill that I owe you or something that I can pay, I don't owe you nothing. Get away from me, honestly, because you trying to drag somebody down based on the fact that you ain't even supposed to be there. And I think people battling with that. They battle with the fact that they're not a natural born star. They're not a natural talent. They want to be. They try to be, but it ain't them. Beans tried to be more than just a dude from the streets. But at the end of the day, that's all he was a dude from the streets who could rap. And he got an opportunity to be more than that, and he squandered it. Why? His nature. His nature, who he is. So just because they do a performance today, that don't mean nothing finna come from that. A lot of people was like, yo, I wonder if they gonna have a reunion tour. No. And if they do, just like the Hard Knock Life, Jay gonna send them on a bus somewhere while he got his own thing going on. There needs to be a level of separation between the people who not only don't have the talent, but don't have the confidence, but also have these natural tendencies to either be envious, jealous, entitled, whatever you want to call it, so on and so forth. Y'all need to be separated from the people who don't have that going on. Not that y'all should be eradicated, even though you ask me, I'm a fan of it. I'm just saying, though, you should keep that over there on your side, man. Whatever it is going on with you, keep that on your side. Ain't nobody asking to be a part of your mess. Nobody's asking for that. And if you want to be a star, do everything in your power to do it. But, yo, Beans, and it's not just Beans, but it's people like that. Whatever you did that by yourself. Jay was not with you while you was committing your crime. So why he got to hold you down? Why he got to put himself in the line of fire of them people? Because that's all it is, them people. Oh, man, you ain't real. If that's what being real is, then I'm faker than a $2 bill. Because that ain't real to me. To just it's like, it's not wise, bro. It's not wise to the scorpion and the frog. Frog is sitting on a lily pad. Scorpion come up, say, hey, man, can you take me across the river? And the frog said, nah, man, you a scorpion. You going to sting me. He said, nah, man, I promise you I'm not going to sting you. He said, man, you is going to sting me. I know you, man. You a scorpion. You going to sting me. He said, listen, man, if I sting you, that means I'm going to die too. So why would I sting you? And so the frog thought about that, like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. And so they get about halfway across the pond, and the scorpion stinged him. He like, why would you do that? You just said you would. He said, I'm a scorpion. It's my nature. So you got people around you who their nature is to sting you. Don't be surprised when they do. Don't be surprised when they do, man, because it's just how they is. They can't even really control it. They can't even really help what they is. You know what I mean? And yeah, if Jay were to give Beans another chance to try to do something else with him, he gonna put him in the same position. But he should know that Jay already showed you he's not gonna let you bring him down. You gonna have to go down on your own. So if you want to do that again, just know that you got the same result waiting for you. And that's the message that I want to get across to all of you Beanie Siegel types who want somebody else to be responsible for you and you won't be accountable for what you've done. Just know that if somebody's already shown you that they not gonna carry your water, I don't know what would make you expect. I don't know why you would expect them to do it another time when they refused you the first time. Don't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense, but I do want to watch this freestyle that Jay did at the Roots picnic. I do. I have to watch this freestyle. I think it's dope. I think it's funny, and I want to dissect it a little bit and break it down. You know what I'm saying? Like what are we looking at? You know? So let's check out this freestyle real quick. Let's check it out.
The leprechauns have magically run out of pranks. Your son on the federal jail line mumbling something about having too much in his drink. You know how dumb that is? Another one fumbled his, wonder how I get the blame. Niggas' teeth is tumbling out their mouth and somehow I'm the one who done it. It's a murder mystery gang.
Okay, that's Tory Lanez and Dame he's shooting at right there.
You had to cash cow and thunk it. But you punked his, I'm the one who strung the pain. That hill you can die on. It's way too much flat that comes from those planes. I'm killing them softly.
Hold on. Before I continue. he's talking about the same stuff I'm talking about, like low key. You know what I'm saying? Like the accountability and responsibility factor. You got to be responsible for yourself, but everybody want to blame Hov.
Understood don't need to be explained. You want it one way, it's the other. I still on you suckers, I'm mauling you niggas gang. I ain't much for me, it's no how. Cancel the brunches, I remember the hunger pain.
Yeah.
The price of the bricks going up.
It's
gonna
facts.
cost you a beat and
Just to
even
say
say
my name. Facts. The price of the brick is going up. It ain't the same. It's not finna stay like what it was. You infract is going up. It's an infraction.
No shame. Y'all trying to get understand? I really get understand. Ask unharmed playing.
Talking about that's you gotta come with something new, Hov. Stab somebody else.
The ones insane. You don't know maniac. Watch how maniac in my presence, nigga, shrink. I need a new therapist. This shit is not working. I'm truly on the brink.
Talking about
I better not encourage him. Y'all don't want me to think these thoughts that I think.
Better not encourage him.
That nut ass nigga still stuttering. And Chatty
talking about
down on his
Oskino.
luck again.
Now you talking about Dame again.
Quest introducing me to Jaguar. I don't know why I still fuck with him.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a light little tap. He ain't even addressing nothing Jaguar been saying though. Pay attention. Peep the signs. Yeah, do the knowledge. Peep the signs.
You wonder why I do the freestyle rehearsal.
Yeah. You ain't addressing it though.
That lady back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him.
This is Nikki.
Take their kids. Enough of them. A rapper can't be my eye. I got MAGA Republicans. Them shots came from the very top of the government.
Now you on this political stuff.
I'm governed by God. You trying to break the government. I prayed for 40 days. My neck get flooded again. Wrist get flooded again. My net worth went up again. My next update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart champ, you gotta look up again. Niggas look up to Hov, I never looked up to them.
Facts. I never looked up to y'all. You looked up to me.
You got your publishing gangster, go talk tough to them.
Drake.
Don't talk success to me. You niggas is workers. In perpetuity's how your contract is worded. Don't make me go first, man.
That's y'all, homie.
The roots remember, even when the trees pretend, not too much of my name. Don't forget who I am.
That was a little
Hattie loves her
stumble.
Shawnees. S-H-A-W-N. I find it adorable she put the S at the end. You don't know, the show ain't even begin. I said you don't know, the show ain't even begin.
Okay, that's hard. That's hard. You dig? Yeah. We can roll with that. You know what I mean? We got to talk about this case with this Asian store owner. I think this happened down in South Carolina, murdering a young black teenager, this Rick Chow fella. We got another video we're going to watch of this Chow fella and like their nature and what they about. And I told you, like, the whole idea of racism and collectiveness, it boils down to human nature and, you know, the light versus dark and good versus evil. You know, all of these different things. And people try to come up with the most insincere reasons for why they do what they do and everything surrounding it. And I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. And I think it's all unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's all unnecessary. So let's see this thing about Mr. Chow. Excuse me, hold on a second. That's the wrong video. Let's get the right video. Mr. Chow. Fu Manchu over here. So you see the young man, he's going into the store. Yeah, it look like they on his bumper. He put his book bag down. He didn't even walk around with his book bag. He put it down. I can see if he was walking around the store with his book bag on. But he didn't. He put it down. You know what I mean? Walking to the back. Look, she looking over at him. But the way the store is set up, you can see. You can just see him. So he's walking around, he's looking. He ain't even in there long. She already done came out and walked around. Now, I think this is the son. He ain't in there long. He done already came out, walked around. He looking at him. He trying to act inconspicuous, but he not. And he's really just by the beverages. You know, he trying to fake move some chips as if that's what he really went back there to do. And he didn't. He trying to get a good eye on the young boy. And I know all this too. I know this all too well. You know what I'm saying? Being from the hood, you go into any of these stores, beauty supply store, gas station, whatever. The Arabs ain't like the Asians though. The Asians, they very hostile and very anti-black with it. You dig? But the young kid, he's looking around. He's definitely looking around, but he not giving me the vibe that he own nothing, you know, bogus. He looking like he don't really know what he want. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's the lady. I don't know who that is. I think that's the lady, but it might have been the son. Look, now she go again. She's standing there looking at him. Hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy. Look, just standing there looking at him. You in the store shopping, just standing there looking at him. Asking him something. He got his hands in his pockets. He don't got nothing. They asked him if he got something in his pocket. Now, apparently, this is allegedly over a water bottle. Now, she's approaching him, asking him if he got something. How can you have water in your pocket? A water bottle. And look how tight his pants is. Like, these kids don't wear no real baggies. He ain't got nothing on baggy. He left his book bag on purpose. Now they come rushing him because he done walked out the store. Now they finna chase him down. And he runs. As he should, because why y'all chasing him? Why are you chasing me? And apparently they chasing him with a gun because they shoot and kill him. Apparently they chasing him with a gun because they shoot and kill him. That's not cool. That's not cool, homie. And so they go on trial and they get acquitted of all their charges. Now, I don't know what they charged them with and why the jury elected to, you know, say he's innocent, him and his son. But I think they just charged the dude because I think he the one that shot him. But you and your son are being aggressive. Your wife or whoever that woman is being hostile. And so he decided not to buy nothing. Now listen, if you are an older adult, of course, you're very intentional. You're going into the store. You know what you want. You're on a time schedule. You probably got to go home to your wife and kids. You probably late for work. You doing stuff. A kid who walking around don't have nowhere to be. They don't. And on some real, he not even with his homeboys. He by himself, which further proved to me that he had no real intention of doing nothing crazy. And if he did, they thwarted it. Even if he did, if you go, I just showed you the video. You look at that store, it's open. It ain't no corners, no twists and turns. It's open. It's an open space. So you come in the door and they can see everything from where they cash registers is at. They can see everything. So ain't no way he was finna hide even if he tried to. He didn't bend down and pretend to tie his shoe. He wasn't grabbing nothing out the aisles and walking around with stuff, grabbing stuff. He didn't really grab or touch nothing. He just looked at all the beverages and everything like that, but he didn't grab nothing. And so the lady instantly come out, get the message with potato bag, chip bag, acting like she trying to do that. But in reality, she trying to see what he on. And she couldn't wait no much longer. She couldn't wait. She had to go confront him and ask him. And he said, nah, you know, asking him what he looking for, this, that, and the other, you know. And before he could leave, asked him if he had a water bottle in his pocket. Now, I would take that as an insult, or as like, is you serious? That's a real question? Like, do I look? And that's what he said. Like, I got a water bottle. Like, do I look like I got a water bottle? Now, if he was intending to steal, why would he put his book bag up there where they could see it? Yeah. He would have been walking around with his book bag. He would have took it off his back and had it in his hand, because it's easier to steal something and put it in his book bag if it's that serious. If he really trying to steal that bad, he wouldn't have put his book bag down to begin with. And then on top of that, to stop him and ask him if he got something in his pockets like a water bottle, and then come to find out he didn't even steal nothing. Y'all killed him and he didn't even take nothing. Now, why did y'all run after him? Now, I don't know this is in South Carolina, so we're going to have to look at the laws of South Carolina and if somebody stole something and whether or not you can chase them down and shoot them because they stole something and claim that the boy put a gun on him, but he didn't. No gun. And so that's what you got. When I hear about stuff like this, man, and, you know, I understand the human nature aspect of it, which is why I don't put nothing past nobody. You don't need the Willie Lynch theory. It's just human nature. And so you see that playing out here where people have hostility for black people, especially black American people. Yeah. There's something in the air where they just become mystified, intoxicated or something, where they have this seething hatred for black people in our land, mind you. This is our land. We are the aboriginals of America. Yeah. Do your Googles. Do the knowledge. Like Fredro Starr told you. I am Choctaw. Here's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to do some homework real quick. Anybody watching this, I want you to Google the map of the Louisiana Purchase. It's easy. It's on Google. And when you Google the map of the Louisiana Purchase, it'll tell you what the country looked like back then and what was included in the Louisiana Purchase. And when you look at it, you're going to see Mississippi and Alabama as Indian territories, a land that they have yet to conquer. Mississippi and Alabama. Now, me coming from Mississippi, I understand my lineage. And that movie Sinners has a lot of that in it. And it's a lot of misinformation in Sinners to throw you off. And it's a reason why people were upset about that film, because there was too much truth hidden in plain sight. And Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan did a great job. I don't know about some of the casting and some of the other things that y'all was putting in there, because y'all was trying to add a lot of this global diasporic type of stuff in it, but it's very unique to us in terms of our Aboriginal status here in this country, here and on this land. Yeah. And so you have people from other lands, from a whole nother place in the world, who come to America and they want to show hostility and kill people who are actually Aboriginal to this land. I can't imagine going to where this fella is from. I don't know if he's Korean, Chinese. I know he's Eastern Asian. And I can't imagine going to his country, setting up a business. Yeah. And being able to, first of all, I don't know the rules and the laws in these countries, but America is very lax in the way they treat us versus the way that they incentivize others to come here to stand on top of us to do things like this. Because these are their proxies. These are their racial proxies. They can't murder us with impunity. Only the police can do that. But at the time, we talk about Willie Lynch, we talk about that time period and Jim Crow. Those were shop owners and shopkeepers, barbers, mechanics, people that just ran everyday businesses who were murdering and lynching black people in this country. And when you got the 60s and everything that happened because of that, as a product of that, they no longer did it that way. But there has been an influx of people from another place who have no concept of the history of this country, and they don't respect it. They don't learn it. They don't respect it, but they go off of in my opinion, there's a general consensus where they know that there's an hostility, an open hostility toward black American people specifically, because they don't really go that in depth with other melanated people from the diaspora who just so happen to live here. Once they can see people's accents, people's natural tendencies, their nature, then that's when they make their assessment and they say, okay, this person is obviously somebody who's from here and there's open hostility for this person. So nobody's going to reprimand me or discipline me for carrying this out. And some people go as far to think that these are psyops, that these are government-sanctioned killings that are taking place, not just from the police aspect, but from a fella such as this who thought it was necessary to chase down a 14-year-old kid for allegedly stealing a bottle of water and killing him for it, only to find out he had no water and he had no weapon. And this person is acquitted of charges. And now people are saying that it's because the prosecution didn't charge them properly, and that's why the jury had to acquit. But that's also that's babble. That's they have videos of him doing other things before this incident happened with this young fella. Let's Let's look at that real quick because I thought this was fascinating. Look, this is him wrestling with a young black girl. Again, accusing people of stealing things and locking them inside of his store and fighting with them. Whoever recording this ain't doing a really good job, but you get the picture. Look at him. Now these is kids that he's doing this to. And chances are he wouldn't behave like this with a grown man. Because these are cowards. To chase down that young boy the way he did and how he's handling these young girls the way he is cowardice. You got video cameras, so you know if they steal something and you got it on camera. Because the footage that we was watching from the young boy and the young fella in the situation, that was from a security camera. So he has security cameras where he's able to see all of this type of stuff. Let's look at the other video. Yeah, this is a better video. False imprisonment of suspected shoplifters and assaulting them. So if you suspect somebody is stealing something, I guess you can lock them in your store and beat them up about it. Or you can chase them out the store and shoot them and kill them dead. And don't nothing happen to you because of whatever status that you got. I don't even want to finish watching it. This is trash. Like Buddy a goofy. And anybody who feels some type of way, because I keep seeing a lot of y'all on the internet too. I keep seeing videos of Asians and different Hispanics who are taunting black people, talking about y'all ain't gonna boycott Asian people and y'all depend on this, that, and other. And it's like, what do y'all get off at with that rhetoric, with that entitlement, with that hostility? Like, you think it's okay to do what you're doing as long as quote unquote people are buying from you? I don't know, man. I think y'all should stop buying from them. Stop shopping with them. I don't shop with them no more. That's it. You know what I mean? And you're not going to get no justice as long as you don't stand up for yourself. And understand that everything that is happening isn't because somebody wrote a letter hundreds of years ago. It's because human nature is alive and well and is strong. Strong as the Force in Star Wars. And you have to understand human nature in order to understand what's taking place in this society and how to beat it and how to have maintenance over your life and autonomy without being a victim of somebody else's jealousy, envy, entitlement, or their racism and hostility. And to have a oneness with self and those who think like you. It's not based on your race. It's not based on your gender. It's all based on the way we think. And so you have to start thinking for yourself and surround yourself with those who think like you, not just because you're related and not just because you come from the same places, but because you have a collective thought and you are like-minded. There's always a place for you. No matter who you are, no matter what background you come from, don't think that you have to do it by yourself, and don't think that you have to suffer people who want to persecute you. Go out in the world, find your tribe. They're out there.